and welcome to the Financial Bunny TV. My name is Nicolette Mashile, and of course I am your Financial Bunny. Welcome to episode 2 of Ackermans Rise Up, a Remarkable Woman, where we try to teach you how to become that remarkable entrepreneur. Whether you're already in a business or you're trying to grow your business, or maybe you've got a side hustle that you want to convert into a fully fledged business, or you say, you know what, Nicolette, I'm just trying to get some of my coins right. We are here to be able to assist you with that. It is in partnership with Ackermans. So let's talk a little bit about raising capital. It is probably one of the most important things for a business, especially if you have a great business idea, but you know that it needs money for you to start off. Now, there are two types of businesses when it comes to funding. There is what we call a low-intensive capital business and a high-intensive capital business. And I'll give you a little bit of examples of the two. So when I got to, I think it was back in 2010, I started a school at, I started going to school at a college called ETA. Now, what ETA was a sports college, right? And I needed, of course, to get hours because part of my course, which was sports management, I needed to get hours where I show and demonstrate some of the things I'm learning in class. I needed to actually go into the real world and do it. So either you could have been somebody who works at a gym where you are managing clients, or you're working at a sports center, or you're working at a school where you are in the sports department. And that's the route that I took. I decided I'm going to go to a school because, in fact, when I was in university, I used to be a sports coach. So I decided, let me go and actually shadow the sports coordinator at one of the schools. And that's what we ended up doing. While I was there and actually I'm shadowing the sports coordinator, I realized one thing. The teachers at the school didn't really want to be sports coaches. They didn't want to stay after school and coach your hockey, your netball. So what the school then did is they would then recruit sports coaches or student sports coaches and place them in the actual school, which was actually fantastic, right? So I decided this actually is a business idea because I'm in a college, and there by my college, I have got people that need hours. You know, they need to be they need to do their in-training. So it was from sports coaches, it was from sports management, it was from the guys who also did sports psychology. They all needed a place where they could do their hours. How about I become like an agent where I find the jobs and then I place the students from my school in the jobs and then I get paid for it. Now that is a business that was very low intensive in terms of capital for us because the only thing I really need to do was to find the jobs, find the sports coach and marry them together, right? And then I make a percentage of how much they get paid. Very low. Yes, of course, there are certain things that I needed to pay for, so things like marketing, things like data to be able to send out emails and all of that stuff. But it was quite a low capital intensive business. On the other side, currently right now, let's look at my business for the kids' books. So I've got these amazing kids' books. One, I need to write the stories, which, okay, doesn't take a lot from me. But I need an illustrator, and an illustrator costs money. Then I need a book designer. A book designer costs money. And then you need, probably the biggest part of this is a printer because you need to print. And my books are hardcover. So it is expensive to be able to print those types of books. Now, if you've got orders streaming in and people are looking for those books, you need to be printing in huge, especially also if you're going to go into bookshops, you need to huge amounts of these books. So you're looking at 3,000 print runs. Now that costs a lot of money. So that's a capital intensive business to start. So I hope that you are seeing the difference. So you've got to look at the business that you want to start and decide, am I going to go with something that is low capital intensive or high capital intensive? So low, it needs a little bit of money for me to get started. High, it needs a lot of money for me to be able to get started. These things are very important because they will help you in deciding where do you go to source funding. Where do you go to raise capital? Where is the money? How do you access the money to get yourself started, to grow your business, wherever phase you are in your business, or to, simply just create a business that's going to help you in terms of kind of helping you out in terms of your budget. All right, so let's start with some of the options that are available to you. The first one is the people who are around you, your family, your friends. Hi guys, I have this business that I want to start. It requires 1,000 Rand. Can you guys please donate 100 Rand to me? Don't be ashamed and don't be afraid to ask people. If you're not asking one person for 1,000 rand, but you're asking 10 people for 100 rand, 20 people for 50 rand, you can actually get started, especially if you've got a good business idea. I want to believe in humans, and I want to believe in that human beings want to see you succeed and thrive. Ask them. Ask your family members. Let them contribute. If there's somebody that says to you, okay, maybe I can give you 500 rand, but of the 500 rand, I'm going to need to get maybe 10% of your business. Look at those types of equity sharing business ways rather of raising capital. Look at it. But I think at the start of your business, you don't want to really rely on those kind of structures. So maybe just ask for people to donate. There's also things called crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is where you now move away from your friends and your family and you're going to the main public. There are different types of websites where you can put up your plea or your ask and you say, guys, I need to start this business. I'm looking to start this business. It requires 5,000 rand. Can you guys please donate to my business? Of course, every time you go to ask for people, you must make sure that the business idea is absolutely incredible because people will support something they believe in. The next one, which is something that we use, is what is called a cash cow business. So what is a cash cow business? It is a low intensive business that can give you great margins. Remember in the previous video we spoke about margins? Margins is that money that you make after subtracting your cost of production or your cost of making the product or delivering the service. That margin is what you make as profit. So you don't have to actually look into starting your business immediately. You can go into something else that's going to become what is called a cash cow business so that you can start saving money for the business that you want to build. Let me give you an example. Say I want to do this, the book thing, but I need a lot of money to be able to print, but I need a cash cow business. I could literally go and do a simple thing of buying goods and selling them at a profit. So you literally go and buy cans of cool drinks, you buy more fire, for instance, from DJ Spoo, and you stand on the streets and you sell it at a profit. It's a low-intensive business because it doesn't require huge amounts of money. You could buy 10 more fires to start off with. And then you take those more fires and you go and sell them at a profit, and whatever your profits are, you stash them away. You put them away. You take out enough money to buy the next stock, and you keep doing that. It might take a lot of time simply because you don't have huge amounts of money to stock a lot of the products that you're going to be selling. Or for instance, you've got a cell phone. If your cell phone's got a good camera and you know the kid next door loves doing YouTube, then you rent out your phone to them at a small fee. But you keep doing this and doing this and doing this and you make more money. You can type out CVs for people. You've got a computer that's got Word on it. You type out CVs and you charge them a certain amount of money. You can scan with your eye. If you've got an iPhone, for instance, that can scan. If you've got, I think it's a Samsung or the phones that can scan, you can actually offer a full administrative package of typing, scanning, emailing, just from one phone that you've got. So it's about looking at what is available to you that you can offer and get some money and be able to use that little business to actually fund the business that you want to start. It's very important. The next way of doing it is, of course, through your budget. If you are working, for instance, you're a professional that is working, but you're dreaming of starting this business, you just don't have enough money. You budget for it. So it's called goal setting. So you set a goal. You've got a SMART goal. So S is for simple, M is for measurable, A is for attainable, R is for realistic and relevant, and T is for time. So let's say, for instance, you need to save 12,000 rand to be able to buy a certain machine that makes chips. You know, slap chips? So you want to start a business where you are selling slap chips or you are selling kotas, but you need this machine to be able to fry the chips. And it costs 12,000 rand. But you are working, so you're earning a salary. So what you can decide to do is, okay, I want to have the slap chips machine after 1 year. 1 year, I'm going to use the 12 months to save up 1,000 rand every single month so that by the end of the 12 months, I have 1,200 or 12,000 rather, sorry. You've got 12,000 rand. So you've got a very simple goal. I need to save 12,000 Rand to buy a slab chips making machine. So you save 1,000 Rand every single month. If you don't do it like that, you join a stokvel. You say, guys, I need 12,000 Rand to be able to buy myself a machine. Okay, you do that rotational stokvel. When is your birthday? Your birthday is in September, so September becomes your month. So in all of the other months, you are giving the members their 1,000 Rand. Then when September comes, they give you a lump sum of 11,000 Rand plus your 1,000 Rand. You've got 12,000, you go and buy your slab chips machine. It's about thinking about innovative ways to be able to raise your capital. The next one is, of course, going to those institutions like NYDA, like the CEDAs, like the IDCs of this world. If you're in Mpumalanga, there's a thing called MEGA. If you are in, I think in the Eastern Cape, there is an economic development agency there. Limpopo's got its own. Gauteng actually has quite a number of them. They've got the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. They've got all different types of funding institutions, and some of them are actually so great because they've got a grant portion where it's money they'll give you for free, you don't have to pay it back, and on the other hand, they've got what is called a loan, but their loans have low interest rates. So the cost of borrowing is lower when you borrow from these types of companies. So that's another way of raising capital. The last way of raising capital, of course, is going through a credit provider, so like a bank, or a company that gives out loans. I know there's Vodaland, Telkom has got another one where they offer loans, but by the time you get to this portion, you must really understand what is the cost of borrowing. So what is an interest rate? How does it affect you? So remember what an interest rate is. An interest rate basically is, we're going to give you this money that you need, that you do not have right now, but we are going to charge you a certain percentage for the borrowing, for the lending rather, that we are doing. So you borrow the money, they lend it to you, then they charge you a small percentage. But that percentage will add on to how much you need to pay back at the end of the loan. So getting a loan, a business loan. So it's important to also understand how business loans work. What are the terms and conditions of your business loan? Look, I'm going to be very honest with you. Raising capital is one of the most difficult parts of a business. But if you make sure that you've got all of the things that you need, your business plan is in order, you've done the financials, you've demonstrated how the business is going to be able to make money, it should not be that difficult for you to be able to get someone who is willing to give you the funds. And that's why it's important to make sure that whoever you're going to raise capital, whether it is the financing institutions, whether it is through a credit provider who's going to give you a loan, whether it is family members, you are clear on what you need and what you are willing to give back, so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you've started this amazing business and all of a sudden you owe someone, but you don't even know how you owe them or how you got there. So it's important to make sure that when you are raising capital, you are taking into consideration what is expected from you, from the person that is giving you that money. I'm going to leave it here when it comes to raising capital. It's quite an important topic because it does not just stop at raising the capital. It also comes to how do you manage the capital once you have raised it. The money that you've been given, how do you actually use it well so that it does what you said it was going to do? I'll give you a couple of examples with how I've raised capital. I've actually saved up for capital. I've saved up. I think when we started the Financial Fitness Bunnies, it was actually a great space to be in because it was a very low intensive business, right? So we started off running this business doing digital media or digital content. So doing Facebook videos, doing YouTube videos and putting them out and getting brands to pay us. So for instance, we'll go to a financial institution, a bank, and say, we want to do videos on savings. Can you guys sponsor the videos? And the brand will say, yes, we don't mind partnering with you. We'll pay you R2 for every video that you do. And then we'd save up that money so that by the time we were now going to go and do and create products, which was the first book that we did, we were able to pay for the editing of the book, the designing of the book, and then the printing of the book. So it's important to think about your own business. How am I going to raise the capital, for instance, to buy the mobile toilets that I need, or to buy the vacuum cleaner if I'm going to be doing mobile car washing, or the ingredients for my scones if I'm going to be baking scones? It's important to think about your own business, because not every way of funding is suitable for every single business. You have to find the one that is the most suitable for you and the type of business that you are trying to run. I'm going to leave it here today, and we'll come back with the third episode speaking a little bit about skilling up so you can make sure that you yourself are a great resource for your own business. I'll see you guys on the next one. Do remember that if you got questions or comments, leave them in the comments box. Mwah!